to another episode of Xbox International Podcast. Man, I am so hyped. I'm really sweating today because, dang, wearing that helmet and running around the house in the chair thinking I'm in Forza Motorsport. Seriously, I am hyped about that game. I don't know about you guys, but that trailer yesterday, what was it? No, it was a Monday, though. Dang, it was awesome. And I can't wait till we get into that. We're gonna have a lot of fun on this awesome episode, guys. I'm telling you, this whole week, man, wow, so much news, so much cool game stuff. Starfield, awesome launch, everything went fine. Everybody's enjoying Starfield, and now footage about Forza. And tomorrow we got PlayStation and Nintendo together. I'm telling you, these months are gonna be crazy. And speaking about crazy stuff, Sourblow. We all know you're the crazy one here. How are you doing today, sir?
All right. Well, I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. I don't know about you, but unfortunately, like everything hasn't gone so well. Like Starfield is horrible. No one's
Hmm?
playing that. And then, the Forza trailer was full of triangles and all that
Oh, really?
shenanigans, but
Yeah.
no, just kidding. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, I did see some triangle wheels in that trailer. I think it's in the 10-minute mark. I saw some triangle wheels on the
Crazy,
trailer.
you're
Yeah.
you're clueless. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about because I was watching people
What am I
comparing
talking about? Let's entertain this.
triangle stuff. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. Yeah.
Busted.
But what I really like though, what I really like how people were
Quantum
comparing
break.
GT7 final product, right, to the unfinished product. Seriously, why would you do that? That's so lame. I wouldn't compare it to an unfinished product because literally, if you compare to it, it's. Forza looks good, guys. It looks good. It looks beautiful.
Crazy, but if you compare the unfinished product to the finished product, they're going to look closer alike. That's why they
Mm,
did it. It's because if you
mm.
show the final product, which I don't think they've even, to be fair, I don't think they've even posted fully completed and like ready to go yet. But if you posted stuff that was up to date right now, there'd probably be more of a difference.
Yep, that's why I saw that those triangle wheels in the 10-minute mark in the Forza trailer. Yes, guys, if you could just go to the 10-minute mark, you will see those triangle wheels. Yep, yes you will. Yep. And speaking about triangles, look at that handsome man up there with that circle bald head. How are you doing today, sir?
Ooh,
I don't even know what to do with you on that one. It's more of like an
I
egg
don't,
shaped. It's not circular. Okay,
Oh,
let's be, you know. And also, it's not bald. It's
it's
shaven. It's a choice.
it's a choice. Okay, okay,
Okay.
nice. All right.
I just need to tan my scalp a little bit, so I shave it on occasion to make sure that I can get a good. I got to get rid of my pasty exterior, sir. It's part
Uh,
of my thing.
maybe I should shave
But
my
no,
head.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. God, I feel like I had a head cold last week, and I started getting over it to go right back into another one. I I don't know what is going on right now. I guess it's just the temperature change or the kids like being back at school and having all the germs spreading around. But man, I feel like every other day I suddenly have a different ailment. I guess maybe this is getting older, right? Maybe this is just life moving forward.
Maybe it's playing Starfield too late at night because that's what been happening to a bunch of us. I've been playing too late. You're like, oh, let me do this one mission, and when you finish with the mission, it's like, oh, damn, it's 2 a.m. Oh
yeah,
man, it's
yeah.
crazy.
I keep setting alarms just so I don't accidentally do that because yeah,
Yep,
it's easy to do.
it's super easy to do. Such a fun game. Such a fun game. And speaking about fun, look who's here with us, Mr. Plume. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing wonderful. It's been a great week or week and a half, I'd say, of gaming with everything that we've been able to play. And I'm playing a bunch of Starfield, obviously, is like the main thing, but I'm playing a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I'm doing great. Excited to talk about these topics. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a good episode.
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Trust me. Ooh, we're gonna tackle down a couple things, man. A couple things. Gonna be spicy too. Guys, let us start with you, Mr. Plume, since you were the last one who talked. What have you been playing, sir?
Well, we all know Starfield, of course. I mean, that's going to be on the playlist for a very long time. I've been playing. I got thanks to Ubisoft. I got early access to the Crew Motor Fest, which has been. It's a fun game. I mean, it's like literally like Forza Horizon. Like it's very very similar. So if you like Forza Horizon, so I would check it out. It's in Hawaii. Tons of different vehicles. You have planes. You have boats. And so far, I've been having a good time with that. And what else have I been playing? Halo Infinite. I still play Halo Infinite almost every couple of nights. Like I've played it the last 2 nights straight. Even with Starfield out, it's so fun now. I don't know. I'm
still
addicted to
haven't
Halo Infinite again.
I still haven't gotten the invitation.
Same here. I
Just
feel so.
saying.
Oh, I did play with Plume.
Listen,
No. I
I'm
did play with Plume. I did play with Plume. Yep, I did. So I can't say
you
no.
guys are in Starfield. I'm not trying to pull you out of the immersion, as Tom Howard said, right? I'm trying to keep you immersed in the game.
Yeah, especially Sourblow, since he said he wanted to die in that game.
Plume's trying to keep him locked at that solid 30 FPS, baby.
Yes.
I heard what you said, but my whole thing broke up. But I'm sure it was a great joke.
That's because the frames were going slower. So
Oh, man. That's good. How about you, Sourblow? I know what you've been playing because you even said it that you wanted to die in that game. So yes, what have you been playing, sir? Just say it.
That's not what I said, but yeah, I've been playing Starfield every time I have a chance. I don't even remember what I was playing before Starfield because I did start at a game, but whatever. I've been playing, a bunch of Starfield, and sometimes I get in, I'm like, oh, let me do this quick thing right here, and then that side quest gets me to another thing, or it just keeps getting bigger or bigger. Like things change. Like it's pretty awesome how like maybe you go on a mission just to, let's say, deliver something, and it ends up being something completely different when you get to that planet. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, like even like I guess it was yesterday. I decided to play around a little bit with the shipbuilding mechanic, and I ended up going like an hour and a half just messing around with it. So it's pretty like engaging. Like just start, and it's like you can't drop it. Like I can't like let go.
I can imagine Sourblow building a Death Star pretty soon. Yep. Sourblow gonna build a huge Death Star.
I got an idea for a ship that I want to build, but I need
Mm.
more. I need more credits.
I got more ideas too to build the shit. Yeah. I'm gonna build some. I'm not gonna get there. So yeah, I'll be nice. I'll be nice. But anyways,
crazy Louis' plane's gonna be a crayon box. Hey, but to be fair, to give him credit, it's going to be a 64 count crayon box, not a 32. Okay? We're moving up in life. We're getting up there. We're graduating. It's good.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna put a bunch of lasers on there too. It's gonna be my crayon laser thing. Yep.
Laser.
Yeah, lasers. Yeah. Oh man, Doctor Evil. You gotta build that Doctor Evil ship. But let's not talk about the Doctor Evil spaceship. Oh, you got
that
it
would
right.
be that would be amazing.
Hey.
I don't think you could do that, but it'd be amazing.
I think you can, because there is a planet with a weird name on there. I don't know if you have met that planet yet, but I'm not gonna say it live
crazy.
because
Don't get yourself in jail yet. Okay?
no, I'm not gonna get myself in jail. But there is the name of a planet with. I was like, huh? I even wanted to land there, but damn it, I can't land there. It's a gassy planet. Oh man, shit. Anyways, Silent, what have you been playing?
Well, I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate going into the weekend on PC, and I mean, from what I've played so far, it's good, but I keep getting drawn back to playing Starfield, and that's probably just because I haven't gotten that far into Baldur's Gate at this point yet. But yeah, I mean, I've mainly been playing Starfield. I also this last week was just playing Podcast, because I had our show on Wednesday, and then I jumped on with Infinite on Thursday. I was with Boom on Friday, and then I did Gamers Council on Sunday. So 4 podcasts in 5 days, all while I was literally having to take shots of whiskey before I started the podcast, just so I could try and like clear some of the crap in my throat and just like sound somewhat reasonable. There were a couple times though where I started to feel my voice go, like when I was in the shows. I was like, oh shit, this is bad timing. This is not this is not what you want to have happen. But yeah, no, I've been putting some more time in Starfield. I think at this point now I'm sitting right around 35 hours, so not as much as I'd like. I haven't gotten to play as much the last couple days because I've been playing the real life simulator, doing interviews and stuff. But yeah, hopefully I can get some more in this weekend. We're going up to the cabin, and I've got my ROG Ally, and Starfield is working on my ROG Ally now, so you know what I'm doing at bedtime when the kids go to sleep, and I get to chill.
Awesome. Nobody gonna ask me nothing.
What have you been playing? Great.
I thought we were gonna say how you been, Crazy Louie. Nobody cares about how I've
Hey,
been.
crazy, how you been, bud?
I mean, seriously.
How was
seriously,
the
guys.
hotel?
Am I really that bad that nobody wants to ask how I've been? I've been playing. I've been playing House Hubby. That's what I've been playing. House Hubby.
You mean
House
hotel?
Hubby.
House Hubby Simulation.
You mean Pet Simulator? That re-releases on Friday, right? That's what you're saying.
No, I've been playing Hubby that re-releases on Friday. Yes, I'm going to be playing Pet Simulator this weekend. Yep, probably yes. And I've been playing Hubby Simulator. Yeah, or I have to keep the house clean because I've been remodeling and oh man, tomorrow. I mean, on Friday it's going to be the dusty. Tomorrow on Friday they're going to put the kitchen top, and that's going to be dusty as hell. I don't know how am I going to cover that, but man, I got to go plastic shopping. What's the thing called? You put like on to cover stuff, and put that thing on the wall. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I don't want dust flying everywhere. It's gonna be crazy dusty. But yes, that's what I've been doing and keeping the house clean because dang, I mean when you I don't know, drywall throws a lot of dust. It's crazy. But yes, that's what I've been doing. And yes, I've been playing Starfield, guys. I mean, who has not been playing Starfield? Starfield is such a fun game, running around doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Everybody's collecting sandwiches, potatoes, but you know what? I can't find a lot of sandwiches. I've been like looking for them, I just can't find them.
Dude.
And potatoes too. So I decided to collect TP. I'm collecting toilet paper. I'm gonna be the TP man in Starfield. So nobody take my TP idea away. I'm gonna be collecting. What type of TPs are there? You got the double
Charmin.
thing. You got Charmin with the double things, and extra cushion. And I'm gonna collect all the TP there is out there in Starfield. That's gonna be my thing because everybody collects the sandwiches, potatoes, but I'm gonna be collecting those damn TPs. Yes, sir.
Boom was actually mentioning this, and I thought it was pretty funny because someone asked him, was like, "Did you manage to get all the sandwiches?" And because he had mentioned, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to be collecting sandwiches." He was kind of on the same train as you,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Dude, every time I find a sandwich, it's a busted sandwich. Like someone's taking a bite out of it." So
Yeah, seriously, it's insane. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
find a
true.
full sandwich.
I think I found one so far that was untouched. Everything else has been eaten or like half bitten or something. It's gross.
Yeah, that was the first thing I stole in this game. I stole a sandwich, and the guy was like, "Hey, you stole my sandwich!" I don't care. I want to collect all the sandwiches there's out there. I didn't give a damn. But the thing is, after that, I just found like 2 or 3, or probably like the whole sandwich bag, and I found a bunch of stuff. But sandwiches, they just been hard, and potatoes too. But TPs, man, TPs are everywhere. I'm collecting all the TPs I can find. I probably have like 1,000 pounds of TPs in that spaceship, man.
Crazy Louie's playing Starfield, the 2020 COVID simulator.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord.
He's gonna run around collecting pallets of TP and selling them to the Rangers and stuff.
Oh man.
Silent, do you remember that time we were playing State of Decay 2?
When he got stuck in the poop bucket.
The poop bucket. Yes.
No, and that when we were in that pharmacy place, and I was like, "Crazy, I dropped something for you." And he's like, "What do you drop?" Do you remember?
I don't know if I remember what you dropped.
Yeah.
It was something like a tampon or something.
Oh.
I thought it was like I thought it was a hygiene product of sorts, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to be wrong.
Man.
We had
That
a
was,
lot
that
of
was,
fun.
that was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. That was a fun one, man. Especially when I got stuck on that poop bucket thing. I mean, literally, I don't know how the hell I got stuck on there, and there was like no way to get in the car off the poop bucket. There was no way. There was no way.
Yeah, and then I actually have the
Oh,
video when we rammed you off of it. I think it was
yeah.
Dark. Basically, like the game got messed up, and the game rubber banded Dark's car, and it literally
Oh
like
yeah,
hit me and hit you, and slingshot us like half a mile across.
and then I was stuck there.
Yeah,
Oh,
that game,
oh.
my
That was
goodness.
fun.
That gave us a lot of fun. That gave us a lot of fun.
We'll have to get some 4-player
Yeah.
co-op going on with us sometime. Plume, it'd be fun to bring you into the wasteland and let you experience how crazy Louis actually approaches a post-apocalyptic setting. It's haunting.
You know what games coming soon? That I want to try.
Spider-Man 2.
No,
Spider-Man 2,
that
Mario
money
Wonder.
heist type of game.
Oh,
Oh,
Payday 3.
Payday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Payday
that's a
3.
fun game.
I have never played Payday.
That's a fun game. You should play it with me. I'm
Dude.
a good I'm a good what's it called? Safe handler thing. Majigga. What was it called?
Safe handler. Safe handler crazy. He's just going to pick it up. He's not even going to crack it. He's just going to pick it up and carry it out.
Yeah, that's
Brute
what I.
strength wins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll just use my head and put that thing. That what's it called?
I would be 100% into playing some of that with you guys. I didn't want to jump in and do the beta because at this point I feel like I've gotten pretty tired of like playing betas because I feel like most releases nowadays are betas for the first couple months, so we're playing them anyways. But I am looking forward to the release of that game because I think that'd be a lot of fun. I remember spending a lot of time on Payday 2 with some of my friends. And it's like when things can go wrong in that game, they do, and they go wrong in such a spectacular fashion. It's amazing.
Yep. Oh man, and speaking about amazing, let's go through this amazing list of things we're gonna talk about today. Man, we're gonna talk about devs are people too. Mass Effect and the Switch 2. Will we finally see it? Let's cross those fingers and hope to God that we finally see Switch 2. And not only Switch 2, I hope, please show the new Metroid Prime. It's pretty much starting to feel like abandoned. I don't know why. It's starting to feel like that. Because I have not seen anything about it. But anyways, we're going to be talking about that Xbox credit card, which, damn, I'm so depressed. I can't get one since I live in Dominican Republic. You guys are so lucky. I wish that Dominican, can get a hold of that. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's sad. I can't get one. Gearbox for sale too? No way, man. That was some crazy news. And of course, we're gonna be talking about Forza Motorsport. Yes, we will. Man, can't wait till we get into those subjects. And Captain, please take us up to the skies because man, oh man, we are really hyped tonight. Oh baby, yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Sour has turned on the subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please stow your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Also make sure that you've hit that notification bell. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are not prohibited on this flight. However, comparing a complete product to an in-development product, going into a launch, acting like 720p quality video shows the full story about a release that's coming out on a system you don't like is strictly prohibited. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you. Back to you.
All right, let's go right away, right through this awesome chat, man. These guys have been rocking and rolling today. Let's start with up there, Obi Rose Kenobi. What's up, brother? How you been? House Tekken House Ho Wang. Oh, you've been kicking some butt with Ho Wang. Talos, the man with the ray. What's up, Talos? Ray Chi. Hello, brother Ray Chi. G Maybe. What's up, G Maybe? Yeah. Oh man, that name is so cool, G Maybe. He should be, that's a cool rapper name. G Maybe. Yeah, got you there. Yeah. But anyways, 4K, what's up, 4K? How you doing, brother? Keep going on this. Joy the Phantom cracking. Hey, Joy. I ate my Wendy's. Did you eat your Wendy's, man? That Wendy's of mine was so good. I hope that Wendy's, Chola doesn't come after me though. But it was good, 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 good. Going down the list, going down the list. Let's keep on going. Who else is in here? Let me see. I already say hello to Farkay. Did I? Did I say what's up to Farkay? I think I did. What's up? What's up? Let's keep going down this list. Oh, Jay Vargas. What's up, Jay Vargas? How you doing, brother? So happy to catching us live here, hanging out with us. It's Timmy. What's up, Timmy? How are you doing, sir, Mr. Dark? Hello, hello. Oh, man, David Cole, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing awesome. And now, I think that's everybody, right? Did I get everybody? If I did, if I missed somebody, please say I missed you so I can shout you out later. Oh, Malcolm X Lax, what's up, Malcolm? How are you doing, sir? So, Captain, time to get the show on the road, baby. Let's go. Woohoo!
All right. Well, yeah. Before we start jumping into it real quick, I did want to give a note to folks because I'm not sure if we've really detailed it. But apologies for our subscriptions and all that stuff. We obviously had a little bit of a hiccup. Crazy Louie tried to knock over a bank and he got stopped, and they seized all of our funds for a couple weeks. But we're up and running again. Everything's good to roll. You can subscribe to us again. You can pester folks. You can do super chats. You can use super stickers, all that fun jazz. So sorry for the brief interruption in service. Sorry, Crazy. I had to throw you under the bus.
No, that was not me. It's Sourblow's fault for telling me to put myself as from the United States. Sourblow will get you.
But we appreciate your patience as we work through turbulence and learn the system and get things squared away. So first, jumping into it real quick, we actually just have a small little news update. It's nothing too big, but we just kind of wanted to touch on it because it feels like any time that these guys finally catch a break, suddenly like something bad happens again, right? And of course, we are talking about Stalker 2 from GSC Game World. The offices in Prague unfortunately suffered a fire that destroyed one of the floors used by the company. Damage is tentatively estimated at 1.5 million crowns, and it's unknown if it will affect the game release. Fortunately, there were no injuries in this whole situation, so there is a silver lining there. At least no one was hurt, but I would argue emotionally, these guys continue to get hurt because, man, this is a rough situation for them every single time. I feel like every time we've talked about them recently, it just feels like it's always been kind of like a Debbie Downer or an unfortunate situation. The climate that they're in, the situation they are in the world is rough. And yeah, we're just hoping that eventually we get to see the fruit of their labors and they can actually, see people enjoying the product that they've put so much blood, sweat, and literal tears into over all this time. But going on from here, my goodness gracious me, we love fanboys, right? Fanboys are great.
Yep, especially with the memes.
Memes.
Is it memes? Is it me? Or is it memes?
Memes in Spanish. In Spanish is
Oh, okay. Then I said it right. Then yeah, memes. Yeah.
Every time you say
But
it,
it's
though, it makes me giggle a little bit.
I am actually it's at fault too. Sometimes I actually do the same.
It sounds very suave.
Memes.
It's the first time I've ever heard that.
No. Wait, before we continue, let me just do this quick shout out. Oh, Rachie became an economy class member. Thank you so much, Rachie. And look,
thank you.
Joey the Phantom Kraken became a first class member. Thank you so much, Joey.
Thank you guys
for joining. What's our memberships, man? Really, thank you guys.
Continue. Yeah, just to add, real quick. Well, Rachie knows because he was a member, but Joe, I know you're a new member. If you like, this is optional. Send me your email to Twitter. That way, we have flight tickets that we send out, every episode. And then, since you're a first class member, we also have a handbook that we send out the end of the month. Something we put together with gaming news and things that has to do with our podcast. So, just just so you just so you know.
Yes. But yeah, thank you guys as
Thank you.
always for the continued support. We really appreciate it. You
It's
know,
awesome.
we do this for you guys, and we appreciate any way you want to support, whether it be just watching us or getting a subscription or whatever. We appreciate it. I don't think any of us expected we would be here at this point and we'd be this far at this point. So thank you. But yes, so speaking, you know, because we like you guys, but fanboys sometimes, right? Fanboys. Unfortunately, someone recently ended up dealing with some real fanboy backlash. And of course, that ends up being Alana Pierce. Now, I don't know if folks in the chat have seen the video. I'm guessing most have probably seen it by this point. But Alana Pierce, who works for PlayStation Studios, she has been talking obviously about how she enjoys Starfield, and she's been talking about like her experiences with it and stuff. And unfortunately, and I'm pretty sure it was the usual suspects that ended up causing a fit about it or even making headlines on it. But basically, people were trying to get her fired by reaching out to her bosses and other folks throughout PlayStation because she's playing a game on a different console. Now, I think just on its own, like with the look on Plume's face, that was the same thing I got as soon as I saw the clip when it first hit and she was talking about this, right? Because she actually released a video, she talked about it, and she literally was saying, she's like, I was literally just talking to my boss, the original creator of God of War, like 10 minutes before this thing about like our progress and where we were at on this on the game and everything. And just like it's one of those things where it's just a weird idea that someone, just because they're working for Sony, means that they can't play games on another system. It's such a weird narrative. And we've seen it for years and years where people have been playing stuff. Like you see Phil Spencer playing Destiny all the time. You see Phil Spencer playing Nintendo stuff. You see cross collaboration like that and people just enjoying games all the time. I think Major Nelson was one that was on a regular basis, like coming out and being like, oh yeah, I'm playing this on Nintendo and blah, blah, blah. Like, there shouldn't be this stigma that people don't play other games just because it's on another system and they're in the industry, right? Like, because the whole idea for me, and you guys can tell me if I'm just way off on this, but my thought is like, if you don't play what the competition's playing when they bring out these new games, how are you going to know what advancements they're making and see the new features and stuff and learn from that as time goes on, right? Because the competition benefits us as consumers. If you see something that someone else does, like mimicking and doing these like new versions of these different modes and gameplay mechanics and stuff like that, it's literally the sincerest form of flattery in the game development side of house. You see it all the time, right? Like you see it with, granted, sometimes it feels like it's just ripping someone off in a case like Fortnite with PUBG. Um, but generally, it's like you look at someone else that's doing something and you go, okay, well, they're doing this. They've got the zeitgeist. How can we do something similar, but also advance on this and make our game better with some of these ideas and mechanics? Like, that's how the game industry thrives. The idea that all of us need to stay to our own little plastic box just because we work for a company is absurd. But I want your guys' opinion on this. Because again, like we continue to see this over and over again. People trying to call for people's jobs just because they're in the industry and they enjoy playing on another platform. It's ridiculous. But I guess the question is like, what's the best thing to do on this type of thing? Like we know console warring in general, like jokingly having a conversation with people and having an argument or having like competition, that's not a bad thing. But when it gets to an extreme level, that's when it gets bad, right? So I guess the question is like, what can really be done about trolls like this. I feel like there's only so much you can do. Some of them have like an anonymity because they're on a microphone 5,000 miles away from the person that they're insulting or trying to get their job, right? But Plume, what are your thoughts on this video and the fact that someone was trying to laughably bust on Alana for the fact that she was doing this, which we will say in preface, she's worked for all three companies in some form or fashion at this point, right? She's worked for Nintendo, she's worked for Sony and Xbox. What are your takes?
She should be fired right away. She shouldn't be playing.
Fire her!
Obviously, she's in the wrong.
Oh man.
No, we don't want that. Lord,
it's absurd. Obviously, it's just the console wars. I mean, console wars in general have been going on since the beginning, and it's all fun and games when you're just joking around and you're making fun of your friends and stuff. And like, one comparison I always hear about when it comes to console wars is like, it's like when you cheer for a sports team, right? You go at the other sports team's fans, and it's just like back and forth. There's nothing wrong with that. It just is what it is. But this type of stuff is obviously way to the extreme, and it makes zero sense that people are this wrapped up in a specific plastic box trying to get people fired from their jobs. When at the end of the day, I would say the majority of people who work at PlayStation, the majority of people who work at Xbox probably play on everything, probably try games from every device, every platform. And if you ask any of these first party developers, I would be surprised if the majority of them didn't, if they were asked, would you rather be exclusive to Xbox or PlayStation, or would you rather everybody play your game? I would be surprised if majority didn't answer saying that they would rather everybody play their game. So this is just like weird internet stuff. I don't know. I don't really have too much more of an opinion than that. Then it's just stupidity. And the only way you deal with it essentially is just ignore it. Like, you just don't bring any attention to it, but that's what it is.
Don't give them the views, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I like being salty on Twitter and having all sorts of fun. But if you can't take the heat, or if you can't take it as a joke or just a back and forth, and you start getting like super toxic with it,
yeah,
maybe it's time to step away from the internet for a couple minutes.
Yeah, and it's like there's some people that just have fun with it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the reality of the situation is most people are doing it just to troll because it gets them views and gets them clicks, and then people engage in it like it's like they're serious. But I think I forget whose podcast. I think it was a couple months ago. I think it was Ham Solo's podcast where he had J-Dub on, or was it J-Dub? Anyways, one of the PlayStation console war guys, and he literally admitted that they DM each other, like not Ham and him, but J-Dub and the other PlayStation guys. They literally DM each other. And they DM Xbox guys and they say, we're gonna troll and we're gonna say this stuff because it gets us views and clicks. So like they actually are all friends, and everybody just falls into the whole banter between them.
There's a lot
insiders,
of it, right?
Insider.
That's not
insider knowledge. Whoa.
Credit to him. He got the info. I'm just reporting it.
Yeah. No, and to that point, we have seen it time and time again, right? Like even Paris came out and was talking about Dreamcast guy, and he's like, dude, he's not the same as his, as his character that he throws out there on YouTube, his persona. And it's like, I get it. I get it 100%.
Unfortunately, guys, Crazy Lou is the same.
I'm the same as what? What were we talking about?
Yeah, sorry. I hate to break it to you, but you may think that this is like an act. This is crazy. Crazy is crazy. So if you were thinking that he was like a rocket scientist or something on the other side.
Oh, I am. I mean, seriously, I am. I mean, look at me. I literally had a lightning rod outside to get electricity to my computer to see if I could get on Monday.
Look at that cable management.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah. Let's
talk about that. You're making fun of my cable management? That's going to be fixed, man. I mean, remember, I'm remodeling. This is going to be fixed. It's just a standby. Oh, you haven't seen nothing. Yeah, you should see. You see how I plug.
Before how many lives does
how long we got podcasting, and that's been like that.
Oh no! Probably in like the next 2 weeks, everything will be moved and
For
everything will be
sure.
way better. You'll see. Trust me. You'll be like, "Well, where's the cables at?" Like I told you so.
This
Watch
is
in
a
2 weeks. Write that down.
this is
2 weeks.
this is a little
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes.
exclusive for the people listening and tuning in. But Crazy Louie was talking to us and asking us about electrical work a
Oh
couple days
Lord,
ago.
don't talk about that. That's embarrassing.
And I asked him as one of the very first things, I was like, well, surely, you check to make sure that everything's unplugged and the electrical is shut off, right? He was like, yeah, of course. And then like 5 minutes later, he came back. He's like, oh, they bypassed it and they hooked up a piece. And so it is connected. Oh, gosh, dang it. And I'm just like, oh, my good Lord. I'm glad, sir. I am glad for you and I'm glad for us. But I'm glad for you that we got a text message later on that was like, oh, man, I found out that they had actually gone past it. Because,
Yeah.
man, when you told me that, I was just like, you literally dodged a bullet.
Here's the thing though, because that day they were working on the power, so because they were trying to get because I don't know why this guy had like three breakers. Literally, he had like three breakers. I don't know why. He has like three breakers, and I'm like, oh, but we're just making it into one so we can use that space for something else. And man, oh man, it was just took everything out. I was without power all day, but he connected it directly. I did not know, and I was literally, trying to install the what's the thing, the light switches, smart light switches, and man, I got shot like a
Um,
couple of times. It was
But
crazy. But how is this on?
but
But
I guess the long story short, chat, is that crazy is crazy.
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
um,
Yep.
so,
And
sorry,
lucky to be
we could
alive.
could go on.
we
Yeah,
could go
he's
on
lucky.
forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, Sour, what's your take on this situation? I mean, obviously, the whole situation, unfortunately, like the fact that it even came up is just dumb. It's annoying because it's like the girl's literally just enjoying video games and just having fun,
Yes.
and then someone comes at her just because she's having fun. Like that'd be like if any of us, like, you post a screenshot and someone comes in and's like, I reached out to your district manager and I'm trying to get rid of you because it's like, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, what's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, like I know we're all like fan in one way or another, and sometimes we might say things, that might sound fanboyish one way or another. But going to the extreme like this is where things get out of control. Like wanting someone to get fired just because they're playing on a different platform, I think that's a little bit absurd, a little bit ridiculous. And if we think about things like, just to put a little like analogy or like a little comparison, you guys know I'm a wrestling fan, and you have AEW, you got WWE. We fans, we might say, oh, this one is better. No, this one is better. But at the end of the day, the actual like wrestlers, they're probably rooting for one another because they want the companies to be as as the best they can be, because at the end of the day they might be working for one company, but they don't know in a few weeks if they could get fired if the other company doesn't exist, or if the other company is not doing well, they might not have a place to go. And so it makes no sense for developers to want, to just root for one side when at the end of the day, a few years from now, and we see a lot of developers jumping ships because, they either get a better opportunity or they get fired or something happens, you know, it's better to have options, in my opinion.
All right.
What's that?
Sorry,
Silent? You're like holding your laugh, like
It's
something's
no,
going on.
I was just, well, I was gonna be an a-hole and make a comment when you were saying stuff about wrestling.
It was just a little
But
comparison
Mr.
kind
Joanna Dark took care of it for me. Mr. Joanna Dark, member for 1 month. Thank you so much, sir. As a first class member, he states, Plume just confirmed that Twitter is fake, like wrestling. Also, would like a timeout for Louis. Silent, how hyped are you for the Nintendo Direct? I will tell you this. When I found out, so when I heard that there was a Nintendo Direct, I was like, okay, well they usually kind of just drop these out of nowhere and are like, hey, surprise, we're gonna have one of these. When I found out that Sony was gonna have one the exact same day, all I could think is like, okay, you know what? Like I may not care for what Nintendo does generally. But Sony going up against Nintendo right now when Nintendo is about to release a new Mario, that's not a bad that's not a good situation for them because all they have is Spider-Man 2. And Mario will trounce all over Spider-Man 2. It's just how
Are
it's
you
gonna
sure about that? Like,
be. Yes.
do you
Uh-oh.
know
Yes.
everything that's coming out
Just-
for the
Uh-oh.
PlayStation show?
Just by the amount of Switch consoles alone that they have sold, Mario alone. will
Remember
mash it.
Pokemon Shadow on God of War? It's going to be the same situation.
But what about like what if
No, it's
they're
gonna
gonna
be
show
worse.
they're gonna
It's
show the
gonna be
place,
so much worse.
but they can show the PlayStation Pro, they can show
Yeah.
the PlayStation Portal 2, Wolverine, Siphon Filter,
You know
They can
what?
load up Starfield on
Assistant,
YouTube.
SOCOM. You don't know what's gonna be there, huh?
Plume.
Wait, what Plume said?
Hey man, hey, he said they can load up that Starfield on YouTube. Man,
You guys are being
YouTube-
fanboy. You guys are
YouTube-
criticizing those guys.
To
Fire
Plume's
me.
point, YouTube has been strangely very hard to rely on recently. And I kind of think it's probably because a lot of people are watching gameplay of games that they can't play. Maybe. Who knows? Allegedly. We can't confirm or deny. But yeah, I think the situation with PlayStation having a show the same day as Nintendo is going to go over just as well as them announcing that Horizon Forbidden West is coming to PC.
Ooh.
No one's gonna care.
And you think they could have delayed it because they announced it way after the Direct was announced.
Dude, it was hours after. It was literal
It's just-
hours.
Yeah. And it's just a live stream.
Well, and it almost
But you know,
it felt reactive. Plume, it felt
Yeah.
reactive to the fact that Nintendo was doing a show. Of which
It's very odd
Sony
because-
doesn't have anything to show that's going to stand up to them right now.
So,
How do
yeah,
you
it's very
know
odd
that,
because they announced that it's third party and indie, I believe.
Yes.
So that alone is going to probably make it even less impactful against the Nintendo show because people obviously want to see the first party stuff. But maybe they're thinking, well, if we show it here, maybe the negative reaction that we really have nothing else coming out this year from first party perspective will be overshadowed because everyone's just going to be watching the Nintendo Direct.
What are you trying
Maybe.
to say?
but yeah.
So what you're saying, Plume, is that this is a very similar playbook to what we just saw with their subscription service going up in price.
Yep.
Starfield was blowing the mind of everyone in the world that was playing it, and Sony was like, "Yo, we're increasing our prices. Later, have a good weekend." So maybe this is the same type of thing, right? Is competition's doing something amazing, so they're gonna come out with a fizzled fart tomorrow and hope that it gets covered up by Mario.
It could be, and I've always said that PlayStation is great at marketing, even when it means hiding their negative stuff behind other
Yes,
companies'
they are.
great stuff. So,
Are you guys trying to say that they were the one that uncovered, did that unboxing on the two aliens
So
to hide at something?
Yep. Oh Lord.
So you were holding that straight face for far too long that whole time. You were killing me with that. Yes.
Man.
Yeah. Hey, facts. Aliens are real.
Yep.
News at 11.
But here, how come they were uncovered a week later after Starfield? I mean, what are those us? Are they trying to tell us that us because of playing too much Starfield we're gonna end up like that or something?
Coincidence?
Yes.
I think not.
That's
Really?
that marketing, that Starfield marketing.
Yep,
Turns
that's
out
not
the
the market.
aliens were actually part of the DLC that's coming out for Starfield.
Yep. Turns out,
Facts.
oh lord, that's how we're gonna end up after a month playing Starfield. I'm telling you, we're gonna be like that. It's seriously going to bed late. Oh man, this game is kicking our butts with bedtime. Oh man.
But yes, no, I mean, like, Sour, I know I know you're joking. I know you're joking, obviously, about some of that stuff, but I just the hubris of Sony to seriously throw that in, like Plume says, like they could schedule, they could reschedule. There were hours in between this conversation, like of us finding out that we had the Nintendo Direct, and then you find out that we've got the PlayStation show that's going to happen too, and it's like, okay, you literally, because they stayed in it, they tried to temper expectations, which I'm already seeing people freak out online being like, this is it, this is the showcase that everyone was not expecting, right? Like, they've
Oh,
showed us small stuff, but they're going to show us big stuff this time. They even said they tempered expectations. They said there won't be new stuff from Sony Direct that will be new stuff. It'll be stuff we've talked on previously. It's, it's like some of the showcases that we saw on the Xbox side, months and months ago too, right? And so they're trying to temper the expectations, but everyone's still expecting like it's the second coming. Uh, man, I'm just curious how this all to quote the great movie Dodgeball. It's a bold move, Cotton. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
well, I just love how they marketed the price raise on the PS Plus. Oh, we're gonna
Mhm.
better off the service. Okay, but what are you bringing? I mean, this was announced how many weeks ago? Like 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, right? I'm still waiting for them to tell me what are you guys gonna bring to the table since you're gonna make the service better. They still have not said nothing, and like I
Because
think it
they're
was
not
a
going to bring anything
exactly right.
at all.
That's why they mentioned it during
Mm.
the Starfield release. That, closing, getting close to the Starfield release. That's why they mentioned it right there
Mhm.
because hey, they're not gonna say anything until like a couple months later. You're waiting for reaction. And what has been the reaction? I mean, I saw on news the other day that people are literally unsubscribing to the service because they're mad. I don't blame them. I will be mad too because hey, you announced this, yet you don't tell me what you're gonna bring to the table. Bye, I'm done. I'm done with you. No way. I'm not gonna pay for that. I'm waiting for mine to be done. I'm not gonna buy another one. No way. Mm-mm.
Folks in chat, I apologize because I I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't even remember how we got detoured at this point.
Yep.
Yeah,
Originally, we were
we
going to
got
talk about this a little bit
far.
later, but
Yes.
we kind of bounced a little bit. So my apologies, and we'll
It's
we'll try
okay.
and we'll try and get rid of some of this turbulence and shift our route a little bit so we can fix the trip a little bit.
Yep.
Um,
Um,
Sour, do you want to bounce from here, or do we want to talk some Unity?
I thought you were gonna ask me. You never asked me, but okay.
Hey, crazy!
Again, they leave
I
me
mean,
out. I feel sad.
real quick. Shout out to Malcolm. I see he became a member, but we didn't get the notification. But
Hmm.
I guess he's a
Alright.
channel member. Don't know what's here, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
He
Thank you. Thank you.
actually, I think he actually got one from, what was it, Sawyer Hopkins? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay,
I think he was one of them, maybe.
okay.
If not, let us know, Malcolm. If you did
First,
it, if it wasn't a gift one, let us know.
he's
But
a
I feel
first
like I
class
saw
member.
that when I was out that one day.
Yep, first class member. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Heck
Oh
yeah!
man. So hey, ask me.
Hey,
22.
crazy!
What's up, buddy? How are you doing today? I'm glad I'm
um,
actually remembered. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So obviously we bounced around a little bit on that one,
Oh, yeah.
but we'll get back to some of the extra details on that. But what are your thoughts on this situation with Alana, with fanboys, with this ridiculous posturing and trying to get rid of people? Big man mode where they've got anonymity and they get to come in, be be such a tough guy because they can be like super far away and they can try and gun for people's jobs just because they don't like the systems they play on. What are
It
your
remind
thoughts?
it reminds me of the I love sushi guy. I'm not gonna say. Don't you remember,
Sushi.
don't you remember the Allo sushi guy from Gas?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't.
never.
I don't think I caught that one.
I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
You'll have
But
to send me a link
I have
later.
to send you a link later. You remember? But anyways, here's the thing though that I feel sad about. I miss the good old days. I don't know if you guys remember when we were in the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis talk about how Sega was better than Super Nintendo. Those were fun times for console war. I call those the fun console warring times. Why? Because basically we did not know shit about it. And that's the word I'm going to use. And we were like, yeah, Sega has blast processing. We did not know what the hell was blast processing, but we were saying that just because it says Sega is better. That's what we were saying. We did not know what the hell we're
Sega
talking about, right?
Sega does what Nintendo don't.
But Nintendo, I mean, those were the fun times. I remember that, and even PlayStation had a good one. You know, sending Crash Bandicoot, which is going to be part of Xbox pretty soon, which we know. But remember when they sent out Crash Bandicoot? It was like pretty boy with the big microphone thing yelling at Nintendo. Those were fun times back in the day. Nowadays, it's just too aggressive. I don't get it why people have to like. It seems like this is like a religious or I don't know, like a team. I don't know what's going on with people nowadays in this thing. It's sad going after somebody because they love gaming. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something, guys. This is an Xbox channel, right? And we here talk about Xbox, we talk about PlayStation, we talk about Nintendo.
No, 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 no.
But wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet, right? But guess what? I have a PS5, I have a Series X, I have a Nintendo Dreamcast, I have a Super Nintendo Mini. I also have a Nintendo Switch, which has been, handed down to another person that won't give it back. I won't mention any names, but yes, I can't wait to get it back because I want to get, on that Metroid game that came out that actually I never played. Yep, it breaks my heart. But anyways, I have all the consoles, and why do I have them all? Because I love gaming. I mean, I'm a guy that loves to game, and I love to sit down and talk games. So we can talk games all day, all night, any type of game. So if you got this person, right, and I'm gonna tell you guys something, not not to be like I'm not trying to ruin your ideas, but hey, everybody over there in Sony played Starfield. They did play it. Same as the guys on Xbox. When God of War came out, the guys on Xbox, why am I in jail? But thank you. The guys on Xbox, literally played God of War. Everybody plays everybody's games. Why? They want to see how it runs. They want to see how it plays so they can catch ideas, get an idea from here to, hey, this is a cool idea. Why don't we add this to the game and do it differently? They do that stuff. That's what they do. So I don't understand why you guys want to go out there, bust this girl's chops. Is it right? Did I say right? Because she literally is playing the game and is enjoying it and talking positive about it. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if Starfield is such a good game, let's talk the good about that game because it's the thing. Everybody looks for the negative on these games, right? Why? If it's a fun game, let's have fun talking about it, and that's what brings us all together as gamers, not as fanboys. Fanboys, literally, what they're trying to do is get you away from this enjoyable game by you reading all that crap that's out there. You're not sitting down and playing this game. That's awful, and really is something that is not worth paying attention, and it's sad just the way they are doing this now. I mean, attacking a person because they love gaming, that is just sad. Just let that person be. Let them enjoy the game. Seriously, just let them enjoy. Let them have fun. What's wrong with fun? Damn.
So Louis,
So
what
sad.
you're saying is I need to stop busting Dark's chops for playing Nintendo stuff.
No, but nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because he's asking you because he's trolling you. That's different. He's trolling you, and he knows that you do not like Nintendo. It's nothing bad with that. I mean, you can like a system. I mean, that's nothing bad with that. But you're not trying to like fry Nintendo everywhere like these guys are, because okay, I play Nintendo. You're not gonna come up to me like you shouldn't play Nintendo. You suck. You should get fired. I mean, you're this, you're that because you play Mario. You look a little kid. Dude, what's nothing wrong with that? I just love the game. What's wrong with you? You don't do that, and that's what these people do. They go after these people, they attack them because they work for this company. Seriously, everybody's gonna play that game. Why? Because they want to see what's up with that game, and especially such a hyped game like Starfield. I mean, it's literally it's everywhere. It's in basketball courts. I mean, believe it or not, sooner or later we're gonna probably see toilet paper with Starfield on it. I mean, it's so damn hype. I'm not kidding you. Such a hype game. I mean, where the
I
heck?
can
No,
I can see it now. Asteroid paper.
Asteroid paper. Well, yeah, it's a really hype game. Why everybody's gonna play it, and trust me, everybody on PlayStation played it. Everybody, literally everybody on PlayStation played. I'm telling y'all because hey, they're gonna play this game, see if they can get ideas in order to bring something new to their side of things. Why not? What's wrong with that?
Chat petition.
What? What's up?
Speak. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Plume.
I was gonna say the one thing though that is apparent with all of this stuff, all the fanboying, all the people who are trying to say negative things about the game. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter because like we have, if the game is great, look at how insane the numbers are on STARFIELD since it's launched, and that's all that at the end of the day is going to happen. If it's a good game, people are going to play it. All the review scores, meta scores, all the review bombing, trying to get people fired. None of that matters. It's not going to affect the game whatsoever. It's literally just for, I guess, where people are looking at this and thinking this is insane what some of the people are doing.
Oh man, Sawyer has gifted 5 Xbox International Podcast memberships. Thank you for that, Sawyer.
Can you read that super chat?
Oh, super chat. Oh yeah. Oh, my bad. It's gifted.
Yeah, I was just about to bounce.
All right.
Yeah,
Mr. Dark with the $5 super chat says PS Direct will announce that they will charge you every time you turn on your PS5 $80 worth of games. More remasters of remasters. Oh man. That was harsh, Mr. Dark. Ooh, Dark went into dark side today. Dear Lord. But
folks,
yeah, I believe
folks in the chat, real quick. Actually, so I discovered this when I was roaming around in different shows over the last little bit. Found it at Ham's show. Actually, shout out to Ham for this. But folks in the chat, if you're not a member at this point, you can actually go up and you can click the gift icon from Sawyer gifting those out, and you can click to accept gifts. If you accept gifts, it'll make it so it'll actually kick you a subscription. So that way you end up getting 1 month free if you're not already a member. So make sure that you guys go up there, click it, and say allow, just so that way if you're ever in a show on anyone's channel, like if someone gifts stuff, it'll kick it out and you'll be basically eligible. So just a heads up. I know I've seen some folks hanging out that don't have any, and I don't think it popped to anyone. So just double check your settings. It's always good to make sure it's set up on there.
And oh man, that's awesome.
Right.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, let's not fire people because they love gaming. Seriously, that's just. And I don't understand when will people learn? Didn't you guys know? And this is the truth. The more negative you talk about something, the more people are gonna go look at it. If you guys have not noticed, they will. I can give you an example, but I just don't want to say it. But hey, they will look at it. It does get people to there because why? Negative brings out the positive. So stop with the negatives, even though they're bad. But damn, seriously.
Dark, I would love to serve you some drinks in first class. However, I don't think Utah frowns on me sending alcohol out of state, so I can't send you anything. But if we're ever outside of this lovely state of mind, or if you ever come to visit, I will gladly get you a drink, sir. Thank you as always for the support.
Can someone send Louis to serve me a drink in first class? You sure you want me to go serve you a drink? Okay.
You don't want him to serve you a
You don't
drink.
want
You
him.
want me to serve you a drink.
But guys, we're like 1 hour in.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
We haven't even
barely
finished.
touched
Like,
anything.
yeah.
Oh, Lord, yes, we've been just having fun today. It's been one crazy episode.
So we have bounced to a few different
Just
things. We'll touch on this real quick because it's developing, right? But the Unity talks. So we're just gonna touch on it real quick because obviously we're finding stuff out as this whole thing goes on. So if you're looking for more details on this besides what we cover, I would recommend going on and checking out Oh No, It's Alex's video as well. I think Plume, you touched some on this as well, or not yet, right?
Sorry, I talked about it in my video this morning.
Or the Unity talks, this morning, right? Yes.
Come on, it's Plume, man. Like he
I'm just
instantly have a
making sure.
video.
I'm just making sure. I was a little bit out of the loop this morning because I went to training and then I took a nap like an old man for a couple hours.
I was just confused because I saw Louis shaking his head no when you asked me that. So I'm like, am I supposed to answer no to this?
No,
Crazy's going on. He's rushing over there right now to leave you a comment to be like, I saw your video.
Plume records the what's going to happen off beforehand.
Yep, before they
And
announce
then,
it.
and then when they announce it, he has it ready.
Yeah.
Is it ready?
So I would encourage you check out Plume stuff. Also, if you want a salty take on it, check out Alex's as well. But they talk about it more on the Unity Talks. The fact that basically what they're planning on doing with this, and I don't know all the details as well. Plume, maybe you can kind of jump in on some of it. But my understanding with this is this is going to get messy really, really quick, and it's going to hurt like the Unity devs in a big bad way. So this actually kicks into effect January 2024. So it's not for a moment, but the way that this is set up, and when you start drilling into their information for it, it's pretty gross. Because the idea is like if someone downloads, so if they get to a certain point where they have X amount or whatever, and they start getting charged this fee that Unity wants to charge, anytime someone downloads your game or a game from your service or like from your studio or whatever, you're going to get charged for the fact that users are downloading your game, which just on its own, when I saw it earlier and I was listening on it, all I could think is like, there is no way that this actually like pen hit paper and someone thought that this was a good idea and actually put it out there. I don't see this thing ever going to fruition. Like I do not see this actually getting passed through and them following through with this, especially given the feedback and reception we've seen so far. But basically what they're trying to do, like the way they worded it was gross too, because they basically were like, well, if we're not charging you a fee, you're not really making money. So, sucks to be you. But then once you do start making money, it's ours. You're giving us your money now. Like that's it. It sounded really gross. Plume, what were your takeaways from this situation? Like, obviously, it's not a good look. The optics on this are not good. It's not like it was just misconstrued. They had this in writing as to the like explanation of how things will work. Do you think this actually comes to fruition, or do you think they backtrack like Xbox Live when we heard that they were going to try and double the cost that one time? Do you think this thing gets scrapped before it even shows up?
I don't know. I feel like if it would be getting scrapped, this is something they would have backtracked on almost instantly because of the amount of outrage there has been literally in the last 24 hours. We've seen so many developers coming out and just voicing their opinion of how much they're against this, how much it's going to hurt them, how it's going to hurt subscription models as well. We saw an article from Windows Central on that. So if they don't backtrack on this, I would say even by like the end of the week, I would be surprised if they do it later. I just feel like this reminds me of when Xbox was trying to raise the price of Xbox Live Gold and how much negativity there was. There was so much negativity that they instantly went back on it. And I feel like this is kind of the same situation. But yeah, this is not good at all. It's going to hurt a lot of developers, especially it's going to hurt the indie developers because this is an engine that a lot of indies use, right? And every time they have to pay a fee because they've created a successful indie game just because somebody has downloaded it, it's not a good look, especially if they're trying to get enough equity or get enough revenue from their games to be able to develop a second game if it's successful enough. And the other thing that's going to be interesting to see what happens is with subscription models like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, is it going to have effects on that? Is Xbox and PlayStation now going to have a harder time getting these games into the service, knowing that these developers knowing that potentially every time somebody downloads the game from Game Pass, which already has 25 plus million subscribers, and we know that people just download stuff and try it for 5 minutes and then put it back on the shelf, will they even want to risk putting that into a subscription service? So that's where I think is going to have a huge effect. And maybe Xbox and PlayStation are now going to have to be giving out more money to get these games into the service. But yeah, will they backtrack? I don't know. There is a lot of negativity around it, but Unity, I mean, it's a good, a lot of developers use it, right? So is it worth, are they going to lose business from this, or are developers just going to have to bite the bullet and hope that they make a very successful game where paying these download fees isn't going to hurt them as much in the long run? It's hard to tell.
Go ahead. Yep.
I was gonna jump in and say I think they kind of have to backtrack on this, because seeing, like, just looking at the whole aspect of what they're trying to do, I think is absurd, and I think it will cost them a lot if they don't backtrack this, because it's like, like, if me as a consumer, I purchase a game. If I decide to install it multiple time, or install it and multiple, like, uninstall it, reinstall it again because I format the computer or whatever, that's all costing the developer, right, to pay the fee. And, like, like you said, the indie developers at the end of the day are the ones that are going to be hurt the most. And to be honest, like, one of the things that Unity has advantage over probably Unreal Engine is that a lot of developers find it easier to develop, and most of the developers that take advantage of that, who are they? Indie developers. So if you do this, it's just absurd. And I wanted to real quick share this tweet from In Exile. In Exile is always on fire. They say, "Hello, yes, we're here to collect money for a game you released 10 years ago." And then it says, I think it says "good luck." Hold on. Oh, I thought the whole tweet were going through. But it's basically a meme, but it's, I don't know. I just think that they're not gonna get away with that. Like, if they do, they're gonna lose so much, like, people that are planning on using it or that have been using it. They're just gonna jump to Unreal. Silent.
Sorry. Sorry, I had it on mute because it's getting a little toasty in this room. I'm right in between seasons, so, like, this room is a little unbearable sometimes. So I've got a fan on when I'm on mute. But no, I think the thing about this, and I'll pass it to you real quick, Louis, here in a second, but I think the thing that, maybe a lot of people aren't necessarily taking into fact, and Plume brings up too, right, is this isn't something that only affects, because you think of Unity, you think, oh, like, stuff from Ubisoft type of stuff. Like, you see a lot of their type of stuff usually. This affects a lot of services. This affects a lot of services, be it like a subscription service or just downloads in general. A lot of people use Unity. And I think that's maybe part of why they feel like they were able to come out and do this, right? Is because it's kind of the dominant force for a lot of up and comers and for, like, mid tier. And because of that, they're like, well, who else are you going to go to? Because we're the service that you've been through previously. You've got our engine right now. What are you gonna shift to UE5 now? Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a scummy way to approach it, but I think that's probably part of the expectation and the hubris behind this type of approach is like, you're already with us. What are you going to do about it? Like, cough up the money and just suck it up is kind of how it feels.
Yeah.
Which is brutal.
Before
Plume,
you go, I was gonna say,
it sounded like Plume had something, but
before you go to Lou, I'm gonna jump real quick into some of the games, some of the the games that actually uses Unity.
Okay.
We have Beat Saber, we have Hollow Knight, We have Subnautica, Death Door, Gunfire Reborn, Pokemon Go, City Skyline, Rust, which is pretty big on PC, Far Lone Sales, My Hero Pedro, Hearthstone, Escape Plan, Fee, I think it's pronounced, Ori and the Blind of the Wiz, Pillars of Eternity, Cuphead. You know, those are some of the games that uses. I believe Fall
Yeah.
Guys also, and Among Us also uses Unity.
I think so. Yeah. It's I mean the thing is like yeah, there's definitely been some smaller titles, but there's been also a lot of dev studios that have been with them for a long
Yeah.
time.
So
Right?
some of them are kind of like small title in terms of like studio that develop them,
Mm,
but if you think about them, they're pretty huge. Like
yeah.
Among Us, Fall Guys, those are huge titles.
Yeah. Plume, did you have
Mhm.
something?
I was just gonna say, like you guys, like we all said, this is gonna affect obviously the indie devs, and the question is like, how much would it cost to switch over to Unreal Engine, right? Can these
Yeah.
devs even afford to do that without shutting down? Like, I don't know that answer, but also
Oh,
Unreal offers like they charge you a royalty fee too, right, on
Yes.
your revenue. So
Yes,
it's
they
not
do.
like they're gonna go to Unreal and pay nothing. They're still gonna have to pay money
yeah.
for
The
their.
thing with Unreal, real quick, that I know for a fact is that Unreal starts. You start paying Unreal after you make over 1 million.
Yeah. After a
So
million.
until then, so if you're a really small developer and you're starting up, it's great, for people that are starting. Now, if you're established, you're probably gonna pay right away.
So I guess the biggest question that we'd end up having with that is like compared to what Unreal is charging and when they're charging it versus what Unity wants to charge, which one's going to be the lesser of the two evils ultimately,
Yeah.
right?
And
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't ran the math on this, but Unity would be absolutely insane if what they're charging is like significantly more than even when the developer meets 1 million revenue and then has to pay like the 5% fee if with their
Yeah.
download fees. That would just be insane for them to do that.
Insane.
So
But
Yep.
I just want to say real quick, imagine this scenario, because shout out to Oh No It's Alex. He actually mentioned it in his video. Imagine like Starfield was built in Unity, and people just these fanboys just to hurt the studio
Yes.
start
Yeah.
downloading it, like installing it, uninstalling it, installing it, uninstalling it,
Yeah.
just to
You
make
can
the studio
literally
have to pay those fees.
Yeah, you can literally weaponize the use of downloading games, which is disgusting. Like it
Yeah.
is rough, but the thing is like let's be honest, guys. We've seen some pretty gross behavior over the last couple of years, right?
Oh, really gross.
So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw stuff like this. I mean, some people literally go out of their way to make these petitions that are absurd and will never lead anywhere, but they do it because they're so hell bent on their perspective. I bet it would be the same type of thing. Is like it wouldn't be surprising to me if there was someone that literally went out of their way to do something like this to try and charge someone just because they don't fall into their specific camp, right? I think the thing that scares me the most with this, and Louis, I'll bring it to you going into this, but my concern, right, is we're in a situation on these systems, like on the previous systems, we were buying 4 or 5 terabyte hard drives, stuff like that. We had space. Okay. We had space if we needed to store our games. You couldn't maybe store your entire collection depending on how avid a collection you had. But in the situation we're in right now, in the fact that the PlayStation sits right around 825 gigabytes of usable space, the Series S 1 terabyte system sits right around 800 as well, right? And then you've also got the Series X sitting right around 900 or 850, whatever it is. And then the Series S, the old version, which is only like 380, I think it is. we don't have a lot of space, I guess, is me. The long roundabout story for that is we don't have a lot of space available to us to store these games. So the idea that a developer is getting punished because I don't have enough space on my freaking hard drive to store these games all the time when I've got something new that's utilizing those hard drives, that sucks. And like, that is not fair to the developer for a situation like that. That is literally out of their control.
Yep.
So can I just add something in here?
Go ahead.
Because I was just looking it up, and they actually already did walk back some of this, and they say here that Unity is walking back some aspects of the runtime fee amid escalating anger from developers, and that the fee will now only apply to the initial installation of the game, and developers are not on the hook for installations through Xbox Game Pass, with fees instead being passed to the platform holders like Xbox. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah, that sounds more
that's
fair.
that still puts Xbox on, like, when they're making these deals about will they want to pay these download fees for these games in Unity. So we'll see how that affects how they go out and get games into the service.
But question with that, since it's just the initial, does Microsoft just have to pay for the initial, or
Maybe.
or that deal doesn't apply to them? Because that would be interesting. I don't think they would make that deal.
All I'm seeing is this is
Not sure,
wrong.
it's
I
not
mean,
clear there.
if you guys are already charging a fee for them to use your product, I mean, that's for me, that's good enough. And you, like how you said, Sourblow, you can charge a royalty or something later on if the game actually sells well, or you can actually do something like that. But don't push. If developers use this program, right? Don't push this on them, because hey, you're gonna start doing this, and pretty much everybody later on is gonna start using this, and pretty much we'll probably get like a developer strike, or kind of like the writer strike in Hollywood. You know, a lot of TV shows have been moved up, and we probably get a developer strike because they're gonna be pretty mad, because hey, you got, let's say 100,000 people have downloaded this game, and they're charging money for this, and where's ours? You know, like, what's going on? You're charging this fee, plus you're already charging me for using your program, plus you're charging this, plus you're charging that. I mean, seriously, these guys are trying to make it out there. So it's a horrible idea. If I was Unity, I'll pull away from that, pull away from that, and literally work something out, find a way, how Sourblow said it, charge a royalty like Unreal does, which is way better, because developers are just going to be mad, like, oh yeah, the games that came out 10 years ago, right? And people start downloading, oh, let's charge you a fee because they downloaded this game 10 years ago. Jesus, I mean, I will be pretty pissed off too. I'll be pretty pissed off.
I do want to ask one more thing real quick, because Plume, you said you've got that detail right there where they started to kind of pull it back, and I apologize for anyone listening if this is boring to you, but I'm very interested in this because I feel like this has a very broad impact across the game ecosystem. So you were saying that they drew back some of that, so they made it so the developer only is charged for the initial download, right?
Yeah.
But the way that it read, so it's stating after that if it saying that if it's downloaded multiple times after that Microsoft or Sony or whoever would be responsible for those downloads, or is it still just saying that it's only a single time download fee?
So from the way I'm understanding it is they know when the game is initially downloaded, and then they'll just charge you for that. And if it keeps getting downloaded, I guess by that same person, because there's a runtime that gets
connected by the profile or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then and that they're also not on the hook for their game if it goes into like Game Pass. They won't have to pay any download fees for that. That's what goes to Xbox.
Okay, so if it goes into a subscription service and people can like cancel, download, bring it back over and over, they're not getting dinged multiple times for it. Okay. No. I just wanted to make sure, because like I wasn't sure if that's how it was reading or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think obviously we'll hear more about this as time goes on. But Sour, what was that?
Oh, I was gonna jump in and say, how they can pay, how they can, what they can do. They can just use the Microsoft rewards and use the new Xbox credit card for that. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Oh,
But
no.
anyway, jumping into another topic, we got Microsoft is launching an Xbox credit card. The Xbox Mastercard would include points that you can earn and redeem for games on add-ons. So one of the features is you can actually customize the card and add your gamer tag, which that's pretty cool. And for every $1 you spent, it generates one card point, and 1,000, 5,000 card points are enough to claim a $15 gift card that's redeemable on the Microsoft Online Store. Also, card members will get a 5,000 points, which is a $50 value, after their first purchase with the card, alongside with 3 months of Game Pass, all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for for new members, and you can. If you're already a member, I think you can pass it on to someone else. So, we're getting credit cards. Good. Lou, how do you feel about it? I know you're gonna get one right away.
I know me and Plume aren't getting none of that for now because seriously, it's only in the United States. Oh man, I wish I could get that.
No, I think there's two other
I
countries.
think they have a couple other territories. Yeah, I
Hey,
don't remember which ones.
if
But
they
Yeah, I don't
send
remember.
if they send that credit card before Cloud gets here, I'm gonna have an angry rant on Twitter and YouTube. Damn it, I want my damn Cloud first. So give me Cloud first in gaming, then you send me that. I'm happy with the card. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna be happy about it, but hey, damn, get me Cloud here first because I really need it. Really do need it. So I can play games, everywhere I can go here in Dominican Republic. But yeah, I would be really mad if that does happen. But hey, it's pretty cool. It's a really cool idea, especially for a gamer. Like if you're purchasing games and stuff like that, it helps you, to earn your points because hey, at the end of the day, those points are really important. I mean, I've seen people buying Xboxes, I've seen people buying games, I see people getting stuff with these Microsoft points. I don't sound like shaking and say like, no, not a good idea. No, 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 no. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing that worries me a little bit because I read something that actually kind of scares me. They're taking away the reward points, like how you can basically get them, or just you only got to use the card in order to get reward points. I read like something that I don't know if
I think they're taking away that monthly, those monthly
points you get from.
points you get like for doing. Yeah, I think those are going away.
And then I'm pissed off now. I don't want that car. Screw 'em. I want my free points on every month because since I'm not getting that, not now, not I don't know when, because if I don't get Cloud here, I imagine that card ain't coming through here. But damn, don't take that away from me. Really, those points are good. I love receiving my points, especially
But
when I convert them.
I'm gonna jump to someone that is going to get the card. Silent. Are you excited for the card? And what's your first purchase?
you're you're a funny guy. No, I let's be realistic about it real quick. For this situation, for this card, if you were someone that was extremely devout about your purchases and very very steadfast at like holding yourself to a very specific purchasing habit, yes, this could be a good thing. Because if you're purchasing something like this and then you're paying it off immediately within the time frame, so you're not getting dinged for it, then sure, yeah, it could be a good thing. But let's be realistic. Most people are going to get a card. They're going to have a ridiculous balance available for them. And they're going to be like, "Holy crap, I could buy myself a whole new freaking, OLED TV." And then all of a sudden you're paying what, 21.99 all the way up to 32% APR for this thing.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's where the issue runs in, is like the idea that if you are very good at being able to just, diligently watch your money and make sure that you're always paying it off immediately, sure, it could be a good thing. But let's be realistic. 90% of the people that get this card are not going to do that. And that's why Microsoft is releasing this card, is because they've done the research. They know how many people will continue to carry a balance. That's it. Just like how Sony brought their card out back in the day. It's going to be the same type of thing. They know that they can make more money off of it because people will hold a balance. They won't be able to help themselves because suddenly it becomes an impulse. Because usually with these cards, when they've got those high APRs, they usually give you a pretty high available credit line, which is not good because, you're going to rack it up fast if you're not good with your money. I'm not getting one personally. I don't need that. As of
Shivo?
now, there are plenty of avenues for me to still gain points. So I have no need for something like this in my life. Is it cool? And I forget who it was. I think it was C Money was talking about it on one of the podcasts I was listening to. But he was mentioning, like, would it be cool to have the card with your name on it? Yes. Like, that would be cool. It'd be cool to have the card. That'd be a neat thing.
You can get the
But-
car and not use it.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing about that, right? And this
Yeah,
gets
I
into a
know.
whole
It
different
adds-
conversation.
It adds another.
This gets into-
you get the card, and after you get the card, you probably can meet Phil Spencer. Maybe that could happen. The more you use it, you probably go
So-
to the Xbox headquarters.
Only after
So
a hefty
talking
interest
in-
charge.
So talking in reality terms, crazy.
I know.
No, I won't dip into it too heavily, but that's the thing, right? Is like, if you get a card like that, if you leave it dormant, you don't do anything with it, that just ends up affecting your credit worse. Like the to get the card would be a soft pull. But then if you leave the card dormant and it doesn't have any activity and it eventually gets closed because it doesn't have activity, that's worse on your credit score.
No.
So generally, they tell you to try and make sure that you've got a balance, but under 30%. So that way you're using your credit card, but your utilization is at a reasonable level. And if you don't do that, then you're screwed. And especially at an APR that high, you are screwed very fast because that can add up really quick. So unless you are very well off financially, this card would not be a good idea.
Nope. No.
All right.
But that's my money market TED talk. Thanks for visiting.
Yeah, it's been
Well,
fun.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, we are a little bit behind. So I'm gonna leave. If you guys want to hear from Plume, what Plume thinks about the Xbox credit card, just follow him on his OnlyFans, and you'll get his answer there. But
Although I do
go ahead.
But
I do have to add I never thought about that, Silent, that they probably do have the numbers about the amount of people that will leave a balance. That's why it definitely is just not a good idea. But yeah,
it's
Yeah.
at that
it's
APR.
100%.
I was-
Unfortunately,
when I first thought, I'm thinking about it, it's like, I'm not going to leave a balance on the card. I could just save money on Xbox. So what's the big deal? But it's for most people, like you said, they'll have a balance and they'll never be able to pay it off. So that's not,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
get
and-
the card.
And again, if you can be diligent with it, like I said, then hats off to you. I know folks who do it. Like I know folks who put alarms in their phone and make sure that they stay on top of it. But generally, they've done the research. They know that most people, just like with subscription services, you're going to let it lapse. You're going to start paying them, and that's how they make their money. So,
man, I have the perfect transition right now since you mentioned alarms. I have it. Can I say it?
Actually, no, crazy. Hold on. I actually have a transition. Sorry about that.
Why
But-
y'all keep shutting me down today? I had a perfect decision.
We are pretty far behind. I'm gonna actually introduce this topic. I'm gonna give my take, and then I'm actually gonna go silent because I have my mom here. She probably got to go to sleep very soon, so I must remain in the background, and I'll leave you guys to continue the show. But Jeff Corden heard that Mass Effect
Jeff.
is going
Jeff,
to
who's Jeff?
Jeff.
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff
Yes,
Gordon, like
Jess,
the
Jess,
like
Jess
Jess,
Gordon.
not
Oh
Jeff.
my
The
god,
NASCAR
Jess,
guy,
Jess,
Who? What?
Jess,
Jeff Gordon.
sorry.
I thought we were going to Forza.
Jess
Oh,
Gordon.
man. Because
He
I
heard.
had the perfect alarm right there. I was going to say, speaking about car alarms, I mean, did you all hear that car alarm from Forza Motorsport trailer? Oh my God, I was. But hey, man, transition right there. But yeah, go
Anyway.
whatever it is.
So Mass Effect is ditching the open world, and it's going back to its classic format. He doesn't know if it's 100% accurate, so take this with a grain of salt. Um, but I wanted to know from you guys if this is a good addition, a good decision. Does Starfield has anything to do with this? Maybe. Do you think they don't want to tackle this? I personally I haven't played yet Mass Effect. I actually own the trilogy, and I decided not to jump into it because I had other games in the back catalog, and then I was just waiting for Starfield. But that's definitely a game I want to tackle in the future. I have heard a lot of great things about it, and I like RPG games. But I do think I believe where were I think Silent was in a podcast. I don't remember, and I was in the chat, and we were talking about that. Not every game has to be an open world. They you can have a great linear game that just goes straight to the point. We had one this year with Hi-Fi Rush, so not every game has to be open world. So if
Forza.
this gonna make the game better, then that's a great decision. It's dependent on what they want to accomplish. But that's all I want to say on this. I will actually want to hear from you guys. But I'm gonna be here in the background. So
Mm.
take care, guys, and nice being with you guys.
What? Where'd you
He's
go?
jumping off the plane.
He's
I hope you
bouncing
have,
off.
I hope you have your parachute.
I'm going on the parachute. Yeah.
I think Sal, this is an excuse for Sal to break a long world record. But go ahead,
I
Sal.
just I just want to say real quick, G maybe what are you getting at in the chat? Sour blow becoming silent blow. What
Well,
what
yeah.
what shade are you throwing at me? What do we got here?
I saw that. I was laughing.
Disrespectful.
I was laughing. I was laughing.
No, so for me, and then I'll pass it off to you guys real quick, and we'll go on to the last topic. But
Yeah.
for me, I mean, I don't mind having games that are like in a scenario where it's more of that narrow format. Like, yeah, open worlds are cool when they're done right. We've seen it both ways, right? We've seen some with the scope that was just not enough. A la like Gears 5, I think it was. They tried to jump into that idea, they tried to play around with it. There wasn't as much there as maybe we would have liked. But then you go to some games where they've gone way too far. Something like an Assassin's Creed brings me to that thought, right? Is like you look at some of those games and you could spend hundreds of hours, and generally a lot of the content that's left is not very exciting, very engaging. So for me, like, yeah, I'm okay if you give me kind of like a narrow focus story. I'm fine with that. Like I've played games like that in the past all the time. Some of the old Deus Ex games were like that. You look at the original Prey, you look at some of the old Doom games, you look at all these old games. This is not something like the open world format has not always been a thing. It used to be more of a linear focus anyways. And personally, I'm fine with that. Like I don't need an open world for every game. You can
Yep.
tell a story just fine without it. I know it didn't garner any uh, agreements when I said it in the past, but Halo Infinite is an example of this for me. I feel like the open world on that was a missed opportunity because, yeah, it was interesting, sort of. But I prefer Halo in more of a linear fashion for the storyline because I liked the story beats going back to back to back to back. I didn't really care for the open world. I don't always need an open world. Like just because the other devs are doing an open world doesn't mean I need one.
Or go
But
or making a game online like Rainbow Six, which literally messed it up.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, making a game like Rainbow Six Siege,
Oh,
where you
yep.
force it to only be an online
Fine. Yeah.
scenario, and you've got a bunch of operators instead of people just choosing to be whatever character they want to be
Mm-hmm.
throughout the game and flexing accordingly, right? Like
Yep.
choosing operators is always something that kills me. Sorry, side tangent, but like I don't like operators. Personally, I would like to set up my format the way that I approach the game, and if I need to be a medic during that run, then I'll be a medic. If I'm going to be out there in the front and attacking or like support or something like that, I'll do it. But I don't need a specific class for it. That crap bothers me. Like, I don't need you to tell me what I'm going to be. I can do it. I can play video games. It's
Yeah.
okay.
So
Crazy. What's your take in regards to like open world or like linear
here's
format? Do you think this would be a good thing if they went to a more linear?
here's the thing though with open games and linear games, right? If you guys had a good formula, why change it? I mean, for example, like you were talking about Mass Effect. I never sat down and played Mass Effect, right? I played like probably an hour or two, but never got hooked on it. But if it did work, then why change it, right? I mean, why the heck should you change it for what? Just to make like a bigger game, to get people hooked on it. But hey, if it means a bigger game, it means more stuff you got to add on to the game, and that's probably something you have never worked on before. And the more you add to it, you probably just don't. For example, Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, it was not a bad game, but people complained about it and they wanted like the original way Mass Effect used to be played. And if that's something that people ask for, the fan base asks for, why don't you just give the fan base what they want instead of you trying like to make these new ideas? Or example, just make a DLC, a small DLC, or make it an open world, see how people react to it, and that way you don't have to spend all that money and all those hours making this open world thing, huge open world thing, and people won't like it. So do it in a DLC. Let's see people's reaction, and then okay, then next game will make it open world. But if you're going back to the way you were, it's because it was working before. So hey, go back to it. So why risk changing it? Same thing as we were talking about Rainbow Six, right? I mean, okay, you guys made your siege. I understand you guys needed to make an online multiplayer, which of course I know has got a bunch of players playing it. They're enjoying it. But us, for example, who love the Rainbow Six campaigns, we would like for them to go back. Same thing with Ghost Recon. I mean, Ghost Recon Wildlands was okay. It was pretty cool, but it was full of bugs, right? Ghost Recon Wildlands, it was full of bugs. It was a mess. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have a linear gameplay. I don't want them to be open world. It was a messy game. At the end of the day, it was such a messy game.
Though
And
I will say that one was better than Breakpoint was, because
oh,
Ghost
Breakpoint
Recon Breakpoint
was
was
awful. That
rough.
was that was an awful one. I
Plume,
was
what's your take? Do you think this is, I mean, obviously, like some folks, and we've seen in the chat already, right? Is like some folks are very open world keen, or like some haven't enjoyed some of the experiences we've had recently. What's your take? Would you prefer more of a linear stance or more of an open world on this new Mass Effect?
So for me, it's not even about whether it's open world or like I like both. I think now we're at this point where everything there's a lot more open world games, but we're seeing just trends come in that are kind of shifting away from that with kind of like the Souls games. Like we're just getting Lies of P, and there's tons of those games coming out. I like both. Like I don't really care. To me, it's just all about how much fun I'm having, because you can give me a 10-hour linear game with just insanely good cinematics and storytelling, but boring gameplay, and I would rather play a 100+ hour open world game with a poor story with barely any cinematics but fun gameplay. So it's like it has to just be fun for me to play, because all the games that we were talking about here, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a lot of people, like tons of people, think it's way too big. I spent over 100 and some hours in that game. I found the gameplay a ton of fun. I played all the two other big open world ones between them and had a ton of fun. Halo Infinite, I really enjoyed the open world. My biggest thing with that was like they didn't have enough. They should have expanded it out and given us more open world and more biomes and stuff like that. Because I found like the gameplay in it, you take away I love Master Chief, I love the story of Halo, I love the story of Master Chief and everything, but take that out, strip that all out of it, it's still very fun to play in a vast open world. So to me, it's just the gameplay. You can give me either open world or linear, it doesn't matter if I'm not having fun. Like if you give me a linear game 10 hours long and it just has incredible gameplay and again, the story is just average, I will still enjoy playing that game. So, but to me, it doesn't matter what they come up with as long as I'm having a good time. I don't know if that's kind of a non-answer, but that's just kind of why I feel about it.
Well, and I get what you say, what you're saying, right? And this definitely lines in with kind of what my approach is, right? Is like if you're going to have an open world, make sure that the stories that are in it are engaging. A lot of what Valhalla had was actually pretty engaging in regards to the storyline and stuff. Like I personally really enjoy that type of background myself. I really enjoyed Odyssey more myself because I always really like the Roman and Spartan type of
Mhm.
Yeah.
background. But that's the big thing is if you're going to do an open world like that, make sure that it's engaging. Don't just have it be a bunch of fetch quests that are not good.
Yep,
That was a scare that people had with Starfield, right? And there
man.
are some you do run into it, right? It's like, hey, go fetch me a bottle of wine that I left on my spaceship that's 3 clicks this way or blah blah blah. There are things like that in that game where it's like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that was unnecessary, but there are also ones where like you think you're going to do something and then it turns out that there's a twist and then something else happens, and it's like it's all about the detail that you add into it, like the quality of those side missions.
Yeah, and
Oh
Mass Effect, I loved the first one, and that was a smaller game, right? You could beat it in, I think it was like 10 to 15 hours or so, and I loved it. It was in a big open world adventure. So if they go back to that with the next one, I'll be completely happy with that.
Fair enough. I think we're going to jump on to the next thing because obviously we
man.
we
Well,
ranted and
okay.
raved quite a bit earlier.
You guys mentioned Valhalla. I just got one thing to
Yeah,
complain about Valhalla,
yeah.
and that's the leveling system. Seriously, I complained to
Mm.
this to Sourblow before, and I told them that. But the leveling system, like literally, I got on a horse, rode a little bit, and I leveled up. And like after 120 hours of spending that game, I was literally level 220, and I was fighting bad guys in level 60. So I was like, okay, one hit, that's it, they're gone.
Yeah,
That's
they never. Yeah,
uh,
we've run
that's
into that,
terrible.
right, where they don't
Yeah.
match the difficulty spike,
Yes,
right?
and they should do that. That's something I love about Starfield. How hard it is to level up and how fun it is. Same thing with Witcher. Way fun with that stuff. But anyways, I think it's time to jump on to the next one because hey, we got some Forza, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna talk some Forza real quick.
Yes.
Crazy. The only thing I'll say to you real quick is if certain parts of Starfield are getting easy for you, try changing the difficulty.
Oh no, it's not. It's not easy. It's not
Because
easy. Starfield
I've
either way, it's not easy.
because I've been playing on very hard and I've run into some real nightmare situations where as soon as you drop it back to normal, it is
Yep.
insane how different it is.
Yep.
But yeah, so speaking of Forza Motorsport, like Crazy was mentioning, so we ended up seeing one of the NDAs lift on Monday this week. So people had gotten to go out. We had a bunch of folks that we knew, like Dealer, Boom, some other folks in the ecosystem and in the community ended up getting to go out and play around with it. If you jump on YouTube right now, you can see a bunch of videos as well. From what we can tell so far, a lot of the feedback seems pretty glowing, pretty positive. There are a few times though, because I've been trying to catch up and listen on some of the podcasts and stuff, and I feel like there are some people that I expected were going to be way more excited that are not necessarily like glowing about it, which makes me kind of wonder if maybe it's just like IP fatigue. The fact that we've got like this is the eighth one, it's another Forza game type of thing. I'm sure it'd be really good. And some of the folks that have talked about it, like Fuzzy, Boom, some of those guys were especially glowing on some of that stuff, right? But some of the detail that we know in regards to this, the core experience is defined by a whole bunch of different pillars. So there's new and more complex physics simulation for the racing, allowing for more varied racing in general. The AI has been overhauled quite a bit. It makes the single player actually a little more fun and competitive. There's not as much of that rubber banding from what I can tell when I'm watching these videos, right? It feels like the AI is not literally just trying to cater to your difficulty level. It's, if you have the difficulty harder, it's not going to rubber band. It's going to be more ruthless. If you have it easier, it's going to be more forgiving. It's not as obvious that there's such an issue with the AI, though. But also, like, they're not responding in the same way as they used to. Like, we're not seeing necessarily the exact same drive-atar behavior as we used to see back in the day. Like if I was an a-hole in your game over and over again, taking corners like a nightmare, and like cutting you off into the sand, it feels like that stuff's been polished out and they're not utilizing some of that feedback or some of that specific user data as much, which actually makes it feel like it's kind of more of a polished situation for the overall game. So we also end up having Forza race regulations. There's a new system that's been based on machine learning, which uh, tested in multiple situations. Some of the folks that tried it had come away really impressed with the accuracy of like the regulation results. Specific like challenge systems that they've started to kind of add into this to just make it feel like it's more of an engaging experience in general. And with progression, so as you race, you'll constantly earn experience and level up your car as you have in the past. It's not super different, but one of the feedbacks that a lot of folks had been talking about is that it feels really, really rewarding during the gameplay, giving you a sense of progression throughout the race. It kind of feels like it's catering a little bit more towards like Forza Horizon 5, right? Where when you're doing these races, when you're doing these different like challenges or things like that, it's rewarding you more often for what you're doing. It's kind of got more of that like gotcha mechanic like Forza Horizon 5 had, where you're constantly being rewarded for doing positive things, for making progression, which I think will just continue to increase like the amount of gameplay people are going to put into this game, because that positive feedback loop gets you really interested in wanting to keep racing because you feel like you're actually making progress, right? In some of the previous Forza Motorsport games, uh, Louis, Plume, I don't know if you ever played too far into those careers, but it felt like it got a little stagnant. I feel like number 7 did a pretty good job at it, where with those separate tiers that you raced in, it felt like it was at least keeping the eye on the prize, like keeping you very attentive to the fact that you were making progress. Some of those older games, it didn't feel like that. It just felt like, yeah, you're racing. Yay. At least it feels like it's starting to try and engage and get you more involved in the fact that you are making this progress, and keep you motivated to continue these race courses and challenges. Um, Crazy. You look very eager to talk about some Forza. What's your takeaway from what we've seen so far in the community, from the folks that we've heard about? Obviously, folks got to talk with like Chris Sasaki and some of the other guys in the team. Where's your hype level so far for Forza?
Man, after seeing those triangle wheels, man, I'm super hyped, man. Those triangle wheels are the best, man. I'm telling you.
you,
I
you
can't wait to
asshole.
drop. No, I'm just messing. I'm just messing. No. But hey, yo, it's incredible. I mean, I sat down. I watched pretty much the Digital Foundry video, the 38-minute interview they did with them, and my God, it's just, whoo, it's just incredible. Every time you just sit there and just listen to what they said, the weather, the changes in weather, the dry dynamics and everything. I mean, I'm really digging into this one. I have never, I'll be honest with you, I've always played the Horizon Forza versions. Motorsport, I was like, nah, I wasn't really into that because like those racing simulation things, it's kind of like, okay. Because I used to play Gran Turismo, but I was just not a big fan of it. I'm more like a Need for Speed type of guy, stuff like that. But just listening to these things about Forza, the ray tracing that's gonna be pretty much on always, which that's another thing that I'm really impressed that they have even 3 features that are gonna have 60 FPS. I mean, seriously, wow, it's amazing how much hard work they have put into this game. I mean, the reflections, the mirrors, everything. It's impressive. It's impressive. I mean, it's a game that if I'm not like gonna sit down like how I enjoy Forza Horizon, I mean, I'm just gonna sit down and just enjoy the details on the cars, the details on the scenarios, the roads, the drive mechanics. I mean, wow, it's just gonna be amazing. It's just gonna be one fun, crazy game. And I just can't wait for them like to add the AIs like for the races and stuff like that. Like they said they said they weren't going to add it at the beginning, right? They're going to add it later on, right? To race against the AIs.
Yeah, so that was one of the things. There were some more the detailed AI stuff that ended up getting delayed until a little bit after launch. I think that was one of the ones that we got announced in the second wave, maybe like a month ago.
But once they add all that stuff, man, that's just gonna be one amazing racing simulation game. And another thing that changed for them is that they're gonna be able to add more stuff to the game along ways. It's gonna be a lot more easier for them because they had like issues in Forza Motorsport 7. I did not know that, but I'm just happy that they are gonna be able to jump into this game and fix what they gotta fix, make it better for us, and to enjoy this game all the way. So, is this gonna be pretty much a live service game at the end of the day?
Mm,
I would say yes.
I mean,
I think so.
yes and no.
Yes and no.
I hopefully whatever they end up doing with it, because we know that it's going to be a games as a service. Yes, I'm just hoping that however they approach it, it's not too tacky.
Because
Exactly. I just hope that they can be able to add the content they need and add more stuff in order to keep the player base, especially those guys that are big fans of driving simulation games, to be jumping in there and keep enjoying it. Because I remember when GT7 came out, I read a report of a bunch of guys that are professional. I did not know that. I mean, seriously, I did not know that they had actual competitions, like big competitions with Gran Turismo, and they were complaining about a lot of stuff. So I hope that these guys could catch that, and these guys could keep those things updated to get those guys from Gran Turismo to jump in that game, because really it's amazing how much this game is going to change. And I hope that the plans these guys have right for this game actually gets it better and better so people can jump into it and really enjoy it.
um, Plume, you are being requested in the
Yes.
chat right now. We need your feedback on
Yes.
Forza. What's your take of this current situation right now?
well, I think from the previews, the game looks really good. I mean, graphically looks great, and we saw all the performance modes that it has. All that's gonna be there at launch, from the 60 FPS or up to 60 FPS with ray tracing, to the performance mode with no ray tracing, and then to the 4K 30. I'm excited to see how this looks on like big 4K TV, and I think it's going to be a showcase for graphics. When you have people over, you want to show them like the best looking games. I think this may be the one to show off. As a person who likes arcade racing games, like I like Forza Horizon, I like the Crew Motorsport, which I'm playing now. I like kart racing games and stuff. I haven't gotten too deep into the simulation, the motorsports series, but this one I'll definitely be jumping in. One of the things that got me excited was hearing about how they're going further into the RPG territory, and how you're going to just play through that career mode, and you're going to unlock stuff by winning races, and getting more experience, right? So that's actually very exciting for me. I know that will keep me engaged in the game for a long time. I feel like that's the main thing I'm going to be playing. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm been playing more racing games in the last 2 year or so, or 2 years, ever really since Horizon came out. Been trying out different stuff. I'm trying out Dirt. Been trying out Need for Speed, Heat, and the other one there that came out after, whatever it was called. So I'm excited to see what this feels like, and how I get better at driving, because from what we were seeing from the previews, it really is going to test your, I guess, driving skills on the stick. Although I don't have a wheel, which I think would be cool, a cool addition for playing a game like this.
Yeah, I agree with you. If if you have a full racing wheel setup and everything, it would be pretty rad. I
Yeah.
look at someone like Colt's setup, or actually Sauer even has one. It's a little makeshift, but he's actually got a pretty sweet little race car cockpit, and something like that would be really cool for this game. I've been meaning to pull the trigger at some point to get like a better steering wheel, so I can actually do one of these ones as more of a sim. I don't think it'd be as good for like Forza Horizon, but I could see it a lot on this motorsport game. Be a lot of fun. Seems like they take a lot of advantage of it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I did want to touch on, because Crazy mentioned it as well, and you can give your feedback on it, Plume, what you think in regards to it. I was hearing a little bit of feedback. I think it was when I was listening to Dealer's show. He was talking. So obviously, we have the 3 different modes right now that we're hearing about for the performance. So we've got the one that's without the ray tracing. We've got the one with ray tracing, and then I think we've got the one that's more of like the quality mode or whatever. The thing that interests me, from what I can tell so far, with the very minimal I feel like I've heard about it so far, but the one with the ray tracing, it sounds like the resolution, even though it's 4K, technically, like it sounds like they're going maybe a checkerboarding or some sort of other option to get that. So based on that, based on what I was hearing, it kind of sounds like maybe some of the visuals are a little bit softer because since they have the ray tracing in there as well, they had to try and find some sort of way to kind of balance it out, right? So you've got a 4K, maybe upscaled or super sampled or whatever, but it sounds like it's a little bit softer. If you end up playing the 4K 60 by itself without ray tracing, it sounds like it's pretty crisp and it looks really good just as is. So I guess a question I have for you guys is between those two, whether it be more of like a crisp high detail without ray tracing or with ray tracing and being a little softer, which one do you prefer? Crazy. With ray tracing or without?
Oh, with ray tracing, buddy. With ray tracing. I mean, if it's not going to
Okay.
affect my performance, then that's the thing. I have my fingers crossed that it's going to be nice, solid, smooth
So
performance. Then I'm with it.
it sounds like the frames will stay good.
Yeah.
It just sounds like the visuals maybe take a little bit of a hit just because of the way that they're getting their 4K
Yeah.
in that specific setting. Plume, what's your take?
I'm gonna try first the 4K 30 just to see how good it looks, and then I'm probably gonna just shift over to the performance with ray tracing.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. I mean, obviously, so this is a weird question. This would be just a weird random fan question. What car are you going to be tuning up and racing the most in this game?
Ooh.
I personally always have I have a favorite usually between like either a LaFerrari Ferrari or BMW if I'm doing motorsport, or if it's a Forza Horizon, I like to play with the Subarus. Plume, what car are you going to be decking out and putting the most time in the cockpit?
Oof, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Like a Lamborghini
Okay.
of some sort. I have a soft spot for like American muscle cars and stuff. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe like a Camaro or I don't know. I've always
Maybe some Mustangs.
maybe some Mustangs. Yeah, I've always liked the Ford GT. I don't know if that's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
want to
is.
unlock that.
It
So.
is.
Yeah.
4 GTs in there, buddy. It's in
Yeah.
there.
So this will probably be where I go.
Okay. Okay. Crazy.
Hmm.
What's your thought? What car are you going to be spending the most time in
Ooh.
the cockpit on?
Oh man, it all depends on what type of race. Because I don't see something happy that for the starter cars. I mean, you saw the video. You had the Honda, you had the Subaru, WRX, and you had a Ford Mustang, wasn't it? I mean, out of those three, I would go for the Subaru. Man, Subaru Rally Edition. Ooh, baby.
They're fun.
They're fun. They're fun. They're fun cars. And after that, man, I mean, like I said, depends on the race. I mean, if I can tune the car like a '69 Charger, oh man, and make that motor come out of the hood,
Mhm.
oh baby, I'm down for that. Those are my favorite cars. But yeah, I'm with Plume. I love American Muscle or Get a Pontiac GTO from the '60s too. Oh my god, get the thing all engine pumped. Oh man. Whew. Oh man,
Um,
I'm already getting shivers, man, just hearing that engine because that's another good thing about these Forza games is how these cars sound. Oh man. Whew.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, it's amazing.
Rachy in the chat. He's like Ford Pinto.
Four pencil, hell yeah, I would jump into four pencil.
See, you, Rachy, you joke, but you don't know the history of us playing like Forza Horizon. Our my good buddy Luke likes to put us through hell and make us do these races where we're doing like the freaking the Triumph and some of
The-
those like 3-wheel and stuff. Oh,
The Jimmy.
the gym, yeah, we did the gym 1 or 2 times too, and that was like that was abuse. That was rough. Um, it was fun. It was fun until one of the times we were playing and we were in a rain track, and when it started raining, we literally couldn't even go up the hill because of how slow the cars were. Like it was bad.
Man, I want to get a Volkswagen Beetle. I will pimp my Beetle. That's what I'm gonna do. Heck
Get
yeah,
the
man.
Beetle.
Pimp my
Oh,
Beetle.
all
Oh
right.
yeah.
Well, I think right about there where you give that hot take of having a muscle car or a supercar, and you chose a Beetle. I think that's the perfect time for us to land this plane.
All right, it's been one fun and crazy episode, man. We literally took a couple turbulence, a couple detours from the flight. Had a lot of fun though. But hey, man, what a great episode! And first off, I want to thank the chat for coming in and hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun seeing you there. Kept keeping it rocking and rolling. And let's start right away with the big plume, please. Tell everybody where they can find you, brother, when you're not teaching baseball to Dominicans.
Well, that's going to be ending soon as the snow is going to be falling in the next couple of months here in Canada, although it has still been pretty hot over the last couple weeks. But you can find me at, I forgot where you can find me. You can find me on YouTube at Plume Network, and you can find me on Twitter or X at Plume Network.
All right, all right. Is Sourblow here so you can tell everybody where they can find him, or is he not here? Are you there?
He's breaking world record.
He's breaking a world record still. And then how the heck is that image changing? But either way, though, you can find Sourblow at Sourblow Gaming over there at is it Twitter? Is it Sourblow? Oh no, Sourblow18 on Twitter. You can find him here on Wednesdays hanging out with us, and on Fridays in XBI in Espanol. That's where you can find Sourblow also there too sometimes. So yeah, that's where
You can. Yeah,
find him
you
there.
forgot to mention his OnlyFans.
Oh, he has on OnlyFans. Oh,
I thought I was on
Yeah, so you can find you can find Sourblow18 at It's Me the Real Richie 18 on OnlyFans.
That's either Richie. Oh man, Silent Cypher brother. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Well, you can find me here, obviously, every Wednesday with my brothers. Thank you, Plume, as always, for tolerating our BS and joining our silly little family. I know we're a very strange family. Not the family you wanted, but the family you need.
Sometimes you just gotta take what you can get,
As far as where else you can find me on Twitter being an asshole. Let's be honest. I enjoy me some engagement. I enjoy some conversations. I enjoy throwing the salt back after months and months of people constantly bashing one plastic box or another at a time. I'm always a big fan of just throwing my opinions in there and just seeing what happens over a day or two. You guys are constantly filling me with all sorts of grins and amusement, and I thank you so much for all of the entertainment at all times. You will not find me probably on any other shows this week because, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I will be getting out of town for a day or two, and then having a little bit of a staycation as well. So I will not be around as much. I'll be living up to my name. I will be Silent Cypher for a couple days. But chat, thank you guys this evening. You guys were awesome. It's always great to see familiar faces and a couple new faces also. Some very eager fans of Plume this evening. It was fun. It was fun.
They literally told me to shut up a couple times. I was like,
literally told Crazy to shut up a few times. It was like,
damn.
can we get to the star of the show?
Yes.
Already?
I sent the troops in today. I said, Crazy's talking too much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It helped me stay on track. So thank you. Thank you, Big.
What? I don't talk too much. What do you mean, man? That's kind of mean. That's kind of mean. Where can you find the crazy one? Simple and easy. You can find me.
I wasn't done.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Thanks, Crazy. No. You'll find me on Starfield. That's where you'll find me. That's the only place you'll find me for the next couple days. Hey, Crazy, where can people find you?
simple as you can find me on Twitter X at Crazy Louis Gaming, where I say good morning and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I know guys have been holding back a little bit on the good morning, but I'm remodeling. When I finish all that stuff, trust me, you will see a lot more. Swear to God, just let me finish up because this has been a complete headache. But yes, you can find me at Crazy Louis Gaming, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And also, you can find me on Mondays at the Xbox Launch Fish Special over there, the Double Barrel Gaming YouTube channel with Mr. Boomstick, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, and Mr. Web Dave. And like always, here on Wednesdays, chilling out with you guys on the Xbox International Podcast at 7 p.m. ET. Yeah. And hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell so it can tell you when XBI content comes on. And remember, let's go, let's rock, and
Let's do chores.
Wait. I gotta ask Plume a question before we go, though. Plume, have you heard of the bird?
The bird?
Yeah, have you heard of the bird?
Bird's the word?
Oh, yeah. Bird.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Bird.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you aboard next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.